Good morning and welcome to Teacher Estelle's Science Kitchen. Today we are looking at the grade 5 curriculum. We are busy with metals and the properties of metals. Before we can go on with today's lesson, it is however important that we just recap and remember some of the properties of metals. Now, metals are strong, they are usually shiny, they do go dull when in contact with air and water. They are also malleable, which means they can be easily hammered into shape. They are also very strong, they're durable. So those are all properties of metals that we need to remember. Now some metals are also soft, like gold, right? And for that purpose they use gold for jewelry, and it's also a valuable metal. So they can plate different things with it. That we looked at when we looked at the people of Mapungubwe, where they made wooden ornaments, and they just plated it in a thin layer of gold foil. Good. We are also going to look at the difference between alloys and plating. Now, alloys, if you remember, is a mixture of different metals. It's two or more metals that's mixed together, but it can also be a metal and a non-metal that's mixed with each other. Now, alloys that we looked at are the following. We looked at stainless steel, which is an alloy of iron, carbon, and chromium, which is then strong, it shines, and it doesn't rust. If we make an alloy, we use all the properties or the best properties of a specific metal and mix it with the best properties of another metal, and that way we improve the metal that we want to work with. Now, steel is an alloy of iron and carbon. Carbon is very strong, so steel will be an alloy of iron and carbon then, and which makes it stronger than pure iron. Yellow copper is an alloy of copper and zinc. It is easily worked into shapes and it shines beautifully. Bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. It is harder and stronger than copper on its own. Now, why do I look at these specific metals? These are the metals that we're going to look at today. We are going to have a look at plated metals. Now, for that purpose, we collected money. We are going to see one of the specific properties that we want to experience or experiment with today will be the fact that we say that metals are shiny. Now, sometimes you have to scratch or rub a metal to let the shine come through. For that purpose, I am going to use money. I have collected some money in my money box, and it's very important that you follow carefully to make sure this is a fair test. Good. Let's have a look. If we look at money, the money we use in South Africa, I've collected some of them here for you. And if you see these, look carefully at these coins, you can see that they look, they're different in color. But when we talk about bronze or copper or even silver, we don't talk about the color. Today we're talking about the metal silver or the metal gold or the metal copper. Now, the 5-cent coin, in this case my 10-cent coin, looks reddish in color or brown, but it's because this coin is made of steel, but it's plated in copper. You can go back and see which of those are pure metals and which are already an alloy. Our 10-cent, in this case our 20-cent, now 50-cent coins are made of steel and they are plated in bronze. The 1 Rand, 2 Rand and old 5 Rand coin that you can see here, they look silver, they look shiny, but they are made of copper and they're only plated in nickel. Here you can see something very interesting. What a mixture we have of metals there. I'm not going to give it away. I want you to go and research and find out what it's made of. Good. Now, these are not necessarily shiny. They should be shiny. Mine was, because I used clean coins already. For our purpose, we are collecting dirty money. All right. Now, to make sure it's a fair test, you have to ensure that your coins are evenly dull. If you have shiny coins and dull coins and you want to compare them to each other, and you start off with a shiny coin, it's going to influence your experiment. Good. I put them in little containers and I mark them because as we go along, we are going to follow the scientific method. Now, there are 7 steps to this method. The first step, of course, is our topic. You have to write this down as we go along because you are going to have to experience the scientific method. That is the whole point of today. Right, so our topic that we start off with is basically the reaction of different cleaning materials on different metals. That is our topic. The second step will be our questions. Now, when you ask questions, make sure they are scientific questions. Sometimes I find that children write questions that's not really relevant. I'm not really interested to see how well this experiment went at this stage. What I'm interested in is the following. I'm going to give you a few examples of questions that you can do. Which cleaning material will be best for cleaning copper coins? Which cleaning material is best for cleaning bronze coins? And so on. If one of the properties of metals is that metals shine, why are some coins dull? Will water be a good cleaning product? If I dissolve salt in the water, is it a better cleaning product than water on its own? You can add the questions as you go along. The next thing you have to do before we can start is your hypothesis. Remember, you have to write your own ideas here. You must predict what you think will happen before you actually do the cleaning activity. Use your questions to help you answer them. This will help you to formulate a good hypothesis. Write a good statement or a descriptive paragraph that answers all your questions above. Okay, now maybe these questions will also help you with your planning. Now you are ready to start. If you look at my equipment that I'm using here and that I collected, those are the things that we are going to use today. First of all, you have to think of safety measures. Always make sure an adult supervise and you use substances that you use in the house anyway. All right, another good idea is to wear gloves. You do not want some of these cleaning products to come into contact with your skin. You do not know if you might be allergic. So it's good to wear gloves. Try not to touch your face or your mouth. Good. Then you will have materials. Those are the things you had to collect. You have your equipment and then your method. Your method, you have to prepare in advance. Good. So here I've got an example of how to draw up a data table. You will notice that I've got a column for A, B, C, D, and E. It just makes it easier for me. You do not have to do it like that. You can write your cleaning products, the name of your cleaning products in there. Good. Now that will be your data. After you've said step by step how you're going to do it in your method, we are going to record our data as we go along. Right, please remember that the last step in your method will always be cleaning up. Good. Now let's have a look what we've got here. I used cheap cloth because I'm going to throw this away. So this is ordinary cloth like this that I used, but instead of taking a clean cloth, a big one for each one of the experiments, each one of the cleaning products, I cut them into smaller pieces. I already rearranged them on the table here, as you can see, then I do not get confused. Good. You can also use paper towels like this, but you will notice that you are going through them quite quickly. And seeing that we can't go to the shops, it might be a good idea to try and save on certain things. Good. I'm going to start off with a dry cloth. Now that is not on table A, B, C, D, or E. That is a separate one at the top. We start with a dry cloth first. Good. Now I'm just going to take randomly these coins, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them back in there because I suspect that if I just clean them with a dry cloth, I'm not really going to clean them and they won't differ from the others that I have still to do. So what I do is I take one coin put it between the cloth and my fingers, and in rotating actions, I rub this coin. Now, to make this a fair test, you also have to make sure that you rub them for the same amount of time. Now, we have a song that we sing when we wash hands to make sure that it takes 20 seconds to wash our hands. Remember the happy birthday song that I heard at school in the bathroom so often? You can do that, or you can have a timer to time yourself. Good. Then I'm going to do the same thing with a coin of a different metal. I'm going to rub it for the same length of time. Each time I look, I can write down on my table, on my data sheet, whether there is a change in the appearance or not. Good. As I suspected, if I look at my coins, they're not much cleaner than they were before. Good. Now, each time I use a different cleaning material, I am going to use a different cloth. Good. So the first one I have here, you can see that I marked my containers. Right? I have done this for the Afrikaans class, so you can already see some of the cleaning material sticking to that. I just place my finger inside the cloth and I dip my finger in the cleaning material. Now here I've got pure water. Then I've got salt. I used lemon juice. You can use vinegar. I've used some surface cleaner like Handy Andy, and here I have ordinary dishwashing liquid. Now, why I marked the little containers according to these is if you just pour all your coins in one container and you then try and do it, you're going to get confused which was which cleaning material that you used. So this just gets it better organized. Good. So what I'm going to do now, I take all the coins in container A. Remember, I'm using cleaning product A for all of these coins in this container. Might be a good idea just to pour them out, and after you've cleaned them, put them back inside. To do that with each one of the coins as you go along, remember to measure how long you rub it so that you don't manipulate or influence your results. Good. It seems like the water is taking off some of the pollutants that's on this money. I prefer to wear gloves, not only because of the solvents or the cleaning products that might be harmful to my skin, but money is actually rather dirty. You will discover that as you go along. Good. Now, just to keep myself organized, what I do with this cloth, remember this is the water cloth, I just put it back in there. Good. Then I take the next cloth. It's not always easy to work with salt because it's a solid and it falls off your cloth. So what I do, I just dip my finger in the pure water again and I let some of the salt stick to my finger, and I can then take my coins and rub them with the salt. Okay. After I've rubbed it and I've cleaned it as much as I possibly think I could, if I rubbed it the same amount of time, remember, I just place them back in there. Now this is nice when you want to record your data and come to your conclusion later. If you place them back in the little container. Ice cubes work well for this. You know, the ice cube containers. Good. I'm just hurrying up this experiment because I don't want to keep you all day. Remember, this was the salt in container B. You might have to feel that you want to just wipe your hands in between, especially the salt. It might stick to your hand or your glove. And then you go along and you do the rest. Good. Be patient with us. You can sit in front of the TV and rub your coins, but remember to record your data as you go along. Good. This is now my lemon juice, and I'm going to use all these coins from container C and rub them. and see if the lemon juice, which is slightly acidic, or very acidic, if the acid makes a difference. There I can already see a difference. Good. Can you see that I do not contaminate my cloth with the different cleaning materials? Good. I keep my cloth there for C, and we do the same with D and with E. Right. When you are done, you can then look at your coins and you can then compare the results of the different cleaning materials to each other. You can maybe see that this one cleaned the coins much better than this one, and that will help you to formulate your conclusion. Now, when we do our conclusion, remember that you have to write your own conclusion. It's not something that you can research or look up on the internet. The main idea here is that you think like a scientist and that you consider your data. You reflect on your data, you compare what you have, and then you write your own conclusion. But remember that you have to reflect on your hypothesis. Your hypothesis, remember, that was your educated guess, what you thought would happen, what you thought the results would be. So then you have to reflect on it. And it's not good enough to just say, no, I was wrong. You have to explain why you were wrong. What were the different results? If you were correct, then of course you will reflect on that and say, my hypothesis in this aspect was correct. Let's say the salt was a good cleaning product, and so on. Remember that you have to, in your conclusion, also answer all your questions that you started with. Right. Then we're almost done. Our evaluation is where you indicate your successes and your failures. What went wrong in your test? What was good in your test? What worked well? What would you change next time? You can also then make recommendations of what you could do differently to have better or different results. Okay, I hope you had fun. Remember to clean up after yourselves. See you next time. Bye.